You're right on time for Hope TV Newswatch on this 8th day of July 2025. A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from, and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kimani, and signing for us tonight is Boniface Moridi. Now, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has recommended incitement charges against former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over controversial remarks. NCSE Chairperson Simon Kobia has confirmed that the case has been forwarded to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
We as NCIC have followed very closely utterances by politicians, particularly those that amount to hate speech, to ethnic profiling, or incitement to violence. 2 cases out of 26 cases have been forwarded to DPP for prosecution. And we are actively listening to what the politicians are saying.
Kenya wote wa tabaka mbalimbali, wa rika mbalimbali, kwamba tuko na nchi ya kulinda, tuko na desturi ya kulinda, na katiba yetu haina fikira ya vita, haina fikira ya ghasia. Katiba yenyewe ndio inatuambia kile ambacho tunafaa kufanya, na ni njia ya amani, ni njia ya kuongea, na njia ya kushauriana na kupendana juu ya meza.
Moving on swiftly, and a section of DCP party allied lawmakers have accused the government of fueling chaos during the Saba protest. The opposition-aligned MPs alleged that the violence, looting and destruction witnessed in their strongholds was not coincidental, but rather a calculated move carried out under the watchful eye of state security. They claim the unrest was state-sponsored, leaving behind a trail of death, devastation and economic disruption.
Tunakemea sana jinsi Rais William Ruto na serikali yake wanavyosukuma mambo ya maandamano hapa Kenya. Ya kwanza, Saba sio kitu kipya, lakini ya muhimu zaidi ni kwamba mambo ambayo yanaonekana yakifanyika yanalenga sehemu fulani ambazo sehemu ziko na wafuasi ambao si wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. President William Ruto, inatushangaza kwamba mahali ambapo wabunge ambao wako na maoni tofauti na yako, mahali kama Ongata Rongai, mahali kama Murang'a, sehemu kama Naivasha, kule Makueni, wale wabunge ambao wako na maoni tofauti na wewe, sehemu hizo ndizo tunaona watu wanatumwa kuja kuleta ghasia. Tunashtumu kitendo hicho na tunasema peupe kwamba serikali ndio inapanga yale mambo yanafanyika, kwa sababu number 1, hawashiki wale ambao wanafanya na wanaonekana kwenye maredio, kwenye ma-TV. Kenya National Human Rights was attacked, the goons can be seen vividly, lakini hakuna chochote kimefanyika. Na kwa sababu walikuwa wataje mambo ambayo yatafanyika siku inafuata, basi wakina mama walienda wakavurugwa pale.
Some patriotic police officers have informed us in confidence that they had the instructions not to arrest any goon in specific areas at the scene of crime. This is an orchestration and a scheme to arrest innocent Kenyans later. Notably, this morning, several innocent Gen Zs who did not perpetrate any destruction are being arraigned in different courts in a bid to suppress their rights under Article 37 of the Constitution. Further, political and party leaders affiliated with the second deputy president are being charged with fictitious and trumped charges. Honorable Gitonga Mukuji, DCP National Youth Leader Wajiko Thiga, and DCP Kiabu Leader Peter Kinyanjui Kawajiru are perfect examples.
Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome has called on the police to adopt a balanced and professional approach during public protest, urging them to protect peaceful demonstrators while targeting those who incite violence. Speaking at the swearing-in of new National Police Service Commission commissioners, Koome emphasized upholding constitutional rights and condemned excessive force. Her remarks come amid rising concerns over police brutality and the involvement of vigilante groups in recent unrest.
On one hand, members of the public must exercise their right to protest peacefully without carrying arms and without engaging in acts of destruction, looting, or vandalism of public infrastructure, such as government buildings, court infrastructure, and even private businesses. It's very painful for even a citizen to lose their property, which they have worked hard to put together. On the other hand, the police must respond with restraint, proportionality, and strict adherence to human rights standards, avoiding actions that could cause unnecessary harm or loss of life. It is also incumbent upon the police to distinguish between peaceful demonstrators and criminal elements, those who infiltrate protests to incite violence, and loot, and to apprehend and process such individuals through our justice system.
Now, 6 people, including a 12-year-old girl in Kiambu, were killed during the Sabasaba Day protest, deepening the national outcry over police response to the unrest. Heartbroken families have shared harrowing accounts of how their loved ones were caught in the chaos, some reportedly gunned down while inside their homes.
Jana tulikuwa kwa nyumba na mtoto wangu muda wa 6:20 hapo, na ndio tukasikia kitu imelia na sauti kubwa sana tukiwa kwa nyumba kama tumekaa chini, na kumwangalia kwa mkono nikaona akona damu. Wakati niliona akona damu tulidhani ni kitu imemkata, kama ni kitu imepasuka. Wakati nilimshika mkono kuangalia damu imetoka wapi, ndio mtoto wangu akaanguka chini, na kumwangalia nikaona akona shimo kwa kichwa. Ndio nikapiga duru, baba yake akakuja, alikuwa narisha kuku.
Kuzi kama mtoto wangu alikufa nini? Alikuwa tu ameketi kwa nyumba. Just kusimama tu kuziangalilia hivyo mtoto wangu anashutiwa. Nao maserikali wanaenda tu na wanaenda tu hivi, hata waangalie kwenye wanashuti. Just kuua juu hawana huruma. Wakumbuke ni wazazi. At least watutole watoto wetu kwa mahospitali kwenye wamelazwa pamoja, ili watutengenezea tunjuzi kutulipa. Watendewe haki yao.
Hii kitendo tunashindwa itachunguzwa na nani? Kwa sababu tunaona kuna watu ambao wamekuja kwa hii maandamano ambao hatuwajui, watu wametoka sijui wapi, wanakuja na tunaona wanaungana na polisi wanafanya hii maandamano. Tukiambiwa polisi ati wao ndio watachunguza hawa watu, watawachunguza namna gani na wao ndio wanafanya kazi pamoja? We need a third party kwa hii kuweza kufanya hiyo uchunguzi. Lakini kwa report, tumepewa report kuwa mtu mmoja ndiye amekufa. This is not, hiyo sio accurate. Hiyo sio accurate hata kidogo. Na tunauliza kwa nini wanaficha? Kwa nini wanaficha wale watu ambao wameua?
Now, grief and outrage grip Kitengela as the mother of 21-year-old Brian Kimtai demands justice, claiming her son was fatally shot by a police officer in civilian clothes during the Sabasaba Day protest. Fearing a cover-up, she says she fled with the body to prevent interference, but her quest for a postmortem hit a roadblock after Kitengela mortuary reportedly turned her away due to lack of space.
Joan Nyawira Gikunju, mama ya Brian Kimutai Bitok mwenye alishutiwa jana. Mtoto wangu after kushutiwa aliletwa hapa hospitali, but alikufa kabla hajafika. Tukakaa hapa hospitali, moga wakukataa kutu admit, ni vile hatukuwa na OB. Vile tulitumwa tukachukue OB, tukaendea wakatuambia watuandikie OB. Alafu wakaanza kutuuliza mwili iko wapi. So ilibidi tutoroke na mwili, juu walikuwa wanataka hiyo mwili watoe hizo bullets ndio wafiche nini evidence. So ilibidi tutoroke na mwili tuende na mwili. Si tumehangaika na mwili the whole night. Fine, nilikuwa napokea masimu nikiulizwa mwili iko wapi. Mtu akinipigia tu simu mwili iko wapi. Nikajaribu kutuma dada yangu mwingine aende aandikishe the same OB. Waliwaambia hawatawaandikia. Watawapiga tear gas ndio watoke hapo. Sasa ilibidi watoke waende. Sasa si tulikuwa tumetafuta ipo jana, but awange make kufika juu walikuwa Ngong Road, but wakatupromise leo wanafika hapa. Polisi sasa ndio wametupatia after tushaenda hapo vile wamesikia watu wa media wamekuja, everyone wamekuja, ndio wametupatia hiyo OB.
Civil rights groups claim that City Mortuary in Nairobi is holding the bodies of 5 males, including a minor, killed during Monday's Sabasaba Day protest. The victims were reportedly brought in following violent clashes that also left dozens injured. Grieving families are now calling on the government to ensure justice for their loved ones.
Wangu alitoka akisema anaenda Kibaro kurudi. Nikapigiwa simu niende iko. Kwenda huko nilipata mtoto wangu ashakufa. Hakuwa hai tena. Nilisikia uchungu mimi kama mzazi. Hata kama wewe ni mzazi ukitaka kuadhibu mtoto, tumia ile njia unaweza adhibu naye mtoto kama wako. Hapana tumia njia ya kuwa mtoto wa mwingine na wewe ni mzazi. Na serikali tafadhali, naomba tu msikize maoni ya vijana watoko, tuwaelewe wanataka nini kwa maisha yao. Umemaliza watoto wetu wamekufa. Mtoto wangu
in Ngong, our team has informed us that there are 3 bodies, but there are also persons who are critically injured who are at that hospital. And for us, the excessive force that was used by the police yesterday have everything to do with the utterances of the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Murkomen, last week. And we are saying that as a country, the solution...
Moving on swiftly, and the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers has condemned the violent attack on Kitengela Hospital during the Sabasaba Day protest, warning they may withdraw services if safety is not assured. Staff were forced to hide amid vandalism, highlighting urgent concerns over health facility security during unrest. Meanwhile, local business leaders in Kitengela are urging the government to prioritize peace and stability to protect livelihoods and national progress.
All Kenyans is that health workers are neutral. We are not supporting demonstrators, we are not supporting the government. We are neutral, and anywhere health workers are neutral. Even in times of war, health workers are permitted to go wherever they need to be, and they are not harmed because they are the ones to save the other people. Number 2, there is an act called Occupational Health and Safety Act, and it provides that when your safety is compromised at the workplace, you immediately withdraw and do not come back until your safety is guaranteed. So we are asking the government, we are demanding that by the next time there will be demonstrations and we do not have armed police security manning our hospitals and especially in the hotspots, we are going to ask our members to withdraw.
The goons were all over, so they had to deal with them even from before entering the facility. They had to deal with them from outside, and you could actually see them touching they started with the chatter around the gate, and then they were now throwing fire inside the facility near the laboratory area, and but the situation was well contained, and at least the health workers were safe. The county government of Kajiado took place action faster. The police also came in handy to solve the situation, and we can see peace and calm. At least right now when we are talking, we have a lot of patients that have come and we have resumed back to normalcy. We are doing our job as usual. Patients are being served left, right and center, and we are getting all the services they could. And the disruption was only yesterday, but today at least by the dawn of today everything was were taking place okay, and you could actually see the county officials were here on time also.
Now, a section of youth is now accusing Raila Odinga of duping them into taking part in the Sabasaba Day protest, claiming he abandoned them when the demonstrations turned violent. The young protesters say they were mobilized with promises of change and solidarity, only to be left on their own as police cracked down, leaving several dead and many others injured. Their frustration was evident at Kamkonje grounds, where some demanded that Raila Odinga address them directly. While he later issued a statement reaffirming his commitment to the cause, the youth say his words came too late.
Tumejitokezea siku ya leo kukuja kwa Sabasaba ambayo wazazi wetu ama babu zetu walipigania, lakini kwa sababu tumekuja hapa tukaona kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga alikuwa mwanzilishi wa Sabasaba, hajaonekana mahali hapa. Imetukwaza sana. Yeye angekuja hapa tuonekanie mahali hapa, angalau sisi pia mioyo zetu tusikize. Kama ameingia kwa serikali atuambie, ndio at least angetutangazia kwamba leo tunakuja maandamano na kukulana na tiagas hapa. So sisi tumekuja kwa sababu ya maslahi ya watoto wetu wa kesho na wenye wanakuja kesho kutwa. Na pia tumekuja kitu ambacho kimechangia mimi kuingia kwa politics ni moja. Kwa sababu nimeona kwamba watu wanapigwa risasi, tunaona tu askari wanatoka kule wanapiga watu marisasi, na sisi tunakuja hapa kwa sababu ya haki zetu na iko kwa constitution yetu ya 2010. So tunaomba kwamba kama hii inaweza fikia Rais wa Ruto, iende ambie kwamba jensis wako hapa kutetea haki zao, sio wabaya, wanataka haki zao isikizwe, na baada ya kusikizwa wao watasikiza na wao pia wasikizwe jinsi ambavyo sisi tunawasikiza. So mimi ombi langu kubwa kwa serikali yetu ya Kenya, sisi ni watakaji amani, tunahitaji amani katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, na nimeona kwamba watu wengi hawajajitokeza, na tunaona kwamba barabara zote polisi kila mahali. Inasemekana kwamba tukitoka maandamano polisi watufanye nini? Watusindikishe mpaka vile tutamaliza na turudi, lakini hawajatusindikisha, hawako. Saizi wakiniona unasikia kwamba wewe unafanywa hivi, maybe sijui penye utapeleka utafanywa hivi, na hiyo sasa kusema vile nitafanywa. So mimi nawaomba hii ujumbe ifike mpaka State House kwamba sisi viongozi wa kesho tusiuliwe, tusishikwe na tusigandamishwe, kwa sababu haki yetu ndio tunapigania, kwa sababu kesho pia sisi wao wakitoka kina nani watakuwa viongozi? Ni sisi ndio tutakuwa viongozi wa hii nchi ya Kenya.
Now, business owners in Nairobi CBD have attributed the calm during yesterday's Sabasaba demonstrations to tighter security and coordinated efforts among traders. Unlike last week's protest marked by looting and destruction, this time traders remained alert and are now urging continued dialogue and protection of livelihoods. As Caleb Mote reports, many small-scale traders are still recovering from the June 25th unrest, using personal savings to restock and repair damaged businesses.
Business owners in the Nairobi CBD are breathing a sigh of relief after yesterday's Sabasaba demonstrations ended with minimal disruptions and damage. Unlike the chaotic June 25th protest, traders have credited enhanced security and coordinated efforts among themselves, including restricted access to the CBD for keeping their businesses safe.
Hii building zaidi tuseme iko na watu kama 50. Watu 50 wakisema walinde mali yao na washirikiane pamoja na serikali na polisi, wanaweza wakaweka security at least, au watu magoons ambao wanaibia watu na kuharibu mali at least wakuwe hawezi wakakaribia katika mali zetu.
Management walituweka pamoja na tulitoa pesa kidogo na waliassign watu kutulindia mali, na tunashukuru sana kwa sababu hiyo ndio plan sasa inawaka. So wale vijana wenye wanaingia kwa barabara kuumiza maduka zetu, sasa hata sisi tutadili na nyinyi vile mnataka, mumeamua tufanye.
At least watu waliungana, wanabiashara walishikana mkono, wakasema wakalishe maduka. Although ilikuwa kurisk life ya mtu sababu hatungejua vile wangekuja, lakini at least askari walitusaidia sababu walikuja tukashikana na wao tukaweza kulinda duka. But hii kitu mimi vile naonelea inavakaliwe chini, iangalio shida hii ni nini? Sababu sijaiona maandamano inakuja watu wanakuja kuiba vitu. Maandamano ni kuandamana, watu waseme ile kitu wamefinyura nayo then iangaliwe. Lakini hii si hata ni maandamano, ni kuibia watu. Sababu wakati walifungiliwa kuingia town, walienda kuiba estate, tumeona kila mahali kwa supermarket zimevujwa. So hii si maandamano ya kawaida. Tuwezi sema ati ni maandamano sababu maandamano ni uandamane, haki ipatikane. Lakini si maandamano uibie mtu mwingine, lakini si maandamano atuibie watu wengine ama watu wengine waenderosi sababu unataka kuandamana.
Still, the economic scars from the previous unrest ran deep. Many scale traders are struggling to recover, digging into personal savings to restock, repay loans and rebuild customer trust.
Maduka zetu tuliacha tukaenda nyumbani tukiwa salama. Kurudi kesho yake tunakuta hakuna kitu. Kila kitu imeenda. Kwa hivyo sasa unashindwa utaanzia wapi? Kuna wengine walichukua maloni katika hiyo kuchukua hiyo nini. Wewe sienda sasa loan yenyewe inakufuata. Sasa unashindwa aje? Ile kitu tunaomba sasa serikali ianze kuangalia vijana, wasikizane, waketi meza moja wasikizane, watasikiane. They are human being.
Ile kitu inatufinyilia saa hizi vile tulibiwa kila kitu, hatuna pesa ya rent. Hizi zile pesa zilikuwa za loan. Wenye loan wanataka pesa zao. Rent inatakikana kwa nyumba, watoto wanahitaji chakula na kila kitu. So hivyo ndio mambo iko.
Traders are now calling for continued dialogue, peaceful demonstrations and stronger protection of livelihoods going forward. For Newswatch, I'm Caleb Moti.
Thank you so much, Caleb, for that report. Now, before you head to break, let me bring in some breaking news. And former Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria has resigned from his position as a senior economic advisor to President William Ruto. Allow me to quote his statement on social media. He says, "This evening I have met my boss and friend, that is President William Ruto. The president has graciously accepted my decision to resign from government. I thank President Ruto for having given me an opportunity to serve as Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry for 11 months, Public Service, Delivery and Performance Management for 9 months, and a Senior Economic Advisor for the last 10 months. As I move on to pursue personal interest, I am proud of the work the President and I did to implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which I designed together with the President as our 2022 electoral platform. Long live Kenya." Now, following his stint as the Cabinet Secretary, Moses Kuria was appointed as a senior advisor to Ruto's Council of Economic Advisors. At the time, Kuria had lost his cabinet seat following the Gen Z-led protest in 2024 that resulted in President Ruto firing all his ministers. Breaking news is that Moses Kuria has resigned as President William Ruto's senior economic advisor. Now, it is exactly 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Time now for a short break, but immediately after, I'll be back with the business and sports news. Stick around.
My advice to those students who are yet to join is to stay focused, be proactive, and utilize resources.
Park University Communication Program profoundly shaped my professional journey. The dedicated lecturers provided the invaluable insights and practical knowledge that directly translated to my career success.
I thank God for the grace that today, this month, on 11th July, I'll be graduating with my doctorate, Doctor of Philosophy in Leadership and Organizational Management.
My name is Professor Dionysius Kihika Kiambi, Vice Chancellor, Pan-Africa Christian University. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the class of 2025. Well done. You have worked hard, and today we celebrate your success.
Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild, out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements. And we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
Welcome back. Now let's get down to business. Homegrown SMEs are set for a major boost as Unilever and Equity Bank unveil a 2.4 billion shillings partnership aimed at strengthening supply chains and expanding market access. The deal will see Equity provide targeted financing to Unilever's distributors, giving them the credit muscle to grow their businesses and improve product availability across the region.
That partnership quite ties with what all of us resonate and what it is that we want to do. Whatever you're looking to do in terms of influencing everyday life is what Equity Bank is set up to do. And when you look at Africa, the biggest problem is our economic growth, which is the biggest challenge for our people. So when I reflect around this partnership, I see it as an avenue to solve part of that problem. If you look at the setup for Kenya, and there is no better company that touches the small trade like Unilever. So when I sit as a bank at the back of it to say, I have the regional and countrywide spread. We have 217 branches now. That means I get the pulse of almost every Kenyan. There is no better partner than to come with to the table as one who also operates at that level. It's a great opportunity for the two institutions to come together and work out something that will enable us unlock the true value of what our people need, which is ability to trade and scale up.
I just want to appreciate and say thank you to Equity. It's a start of an opportunity here, but as there's so much, there's so much for us to really unlock and drive business growth. So the session we are having today fits into the livelihood space. Yeah. And how so? So part of that commitment is to say, how do we positively influence and change the livelihoods of those who are within our value chain? And how do we use our scale for good?
Moving on swiftly, the Kenya Kwanza administration's job creation strategy is gaining traction with a strong focus on youth employment across local, digital and overseas platforms. Speaking at the Huawei Leap Jobs Fair 2025 at the University of Nairobi, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki highlighted progress and initiatives like recognition of prior learning, which has already certified over 6,000 skilled workers.
Partnerships are going to become increasingly important going forward. We are coming from a history of a dichotomy between the public and private sector. Something is either public or private sector. There are things that the public sector must concentrate on. There are things that the private sector should concentrate on. That division is increasingly getting blurred for various reasons. And I dare say that this blurring of the public-private sector divide is irreversible. It's not going to change anytime soon. And governments, including the government of Kenya, have come to accept the reality that going forward, as we solve our national problems, we are not adequate as public sector to give all the solutions that the country needs. We need the private sector. We have tested and received positive feedback that the closer ties between the public sector and the private sector can drive Kenya's progress faster. And we can reach to our desired destination earlier, faster, and with less difficulties if we leverage on working with private sector in partnerships.
Kenya's tourism industry is charting a bold path forward as key stakeholders rally behind a shared vision to attract 5.5 million international visitors by 2027. In a high-level consultative meeting, the Ministry of Tourism, hotel industry leaders, and the partners pledged greater collaboration with a focus on a niche markets like MICE, youth empowerment, and safeguarding the country's global reputation.
The tourism industry continues doing very well in Nairobi and in Kenya in general. We just need to build the momentum, talk positively, create positive vibes, and make sure that everybody travels Kenya, both domestic and international tourists.
We need to increase global consideration and desire to visit Kenya. Number two, we need to reposition and build a strong, unified brand. And that will not only be for the government, but private sector. Number three, we need to grow visitor numbers, the 5.5, and also revenue towards the 1 trillion Kenya shillings. We have our targets, like we have talked about, and we also have the products. We have quite an untapped segment of what we can do. We need to look at either gastronomic, we have the marriage, the honeymooners, the leisure travelers, event travelers. We have the product that was gazetted last year that we haven't quite utilized it. That is the digital nomads or the remote workers who probably work in another country, but they would prefer to work in Kenya remotely. We have the wellness travelers and all this that we need to tap fully and to target intentionally.
And to some sporting action now, home players Sandeep Madharu and Zipporah Gishigi led the charge at Sigona Golf Club, shining brightest at the 16th leg of the 2025 NCBA Golf Series. Madharu impressed with the level par 72 to claim the men's overall gross title, while Gishigi topped the ladies category with a gross score of 86. With over 260 golfers in the field, the event was one of the series' most competitive yet, as attention now shifts to Rwanda for the next leg on July 13th. And finally, Kenya Prisons have powered into the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup with a commanding straight sets win over Kenya Army. The former champions outclassed their opponents 3-0, sealing their spot alongside KCB, DCI and the Kenya Pipeline in the battle for this year's national volleyball crown. And with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for making time to watch Hope TV Newswatch. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the amazing team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kimani, and signing for us tonight has been Boniface Morethi.